What is up, crawler fans, RC enthusiasts, and social media surfers? I'm your boy Josh with Texoma RC, and today we're looking at yet another RTR for a customer. Check out this beautiful build in beautiful blue. Oh my gosh, turned out to be almost like a royal blue. Looking pretty sharp. Really wanted to see this with gold. However, we went with the silver chrome by his recommendation. And also, I did not want to put the gold on the silver axles. Figured we'd go ahead and blend them all together. So I thought that would be sick. I need to get some black axles. And then we can do a gold link set, dude. It'd be so sick, bro. Anyway, stay tuned for that. But for today, we're checking out Old Blue for my boy Brian. Here we go. Look at the stance on him. Holy smokes. All right, so this Slayer EVOlite is running our 52mm front end with the 108mm Canti rear end. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow. Just beautiful. So we put in a bunch of work on this guy. He's running our new soft top cab. Look at this thing, dude. Not gonna break, dude. Rip till you flip proof, dude. Not gonna break at all. It's TPU, same as the hood. You know, it's not gonna hurt it, dude. Nothing you can do to hurt it. It's like freaking armor, bro. Little soft cushion to help to protect and just keep us rip till you flipping again. You know what I'm saying? Rip till you flip and rip again. You know what I'm saying? That's the idea. So you don't have to run it with the hood. The hood is just another variation of the shock mounts. We now have 3 different shock mounts that can be run in the front, and you can pair that with this roof or the other flat roof. I'm not going to continue selling the original roof for the EVOlite, although it is kind of cool. It's just a direct transfer of energy into the rail here, and you know, even with the nylon, it should be okay. There's just an extra stress point that we don't need to deal with, so I'm not going to continue doing the other roof. However, we have this roof, the flat roof, and there will be other ones coming as I get a little burr under my seat. You know what I'm saying? So we'll figure it out. So we are running these cool freaking V-pins. I don't know which tires. These are all in RC. I also saw them for sale by Hobby Park, but they are running on a new 48mm insert for the Rattler wheels. Look at these guys. We are running tungsten. We have 56 grams of tungsten in the front, and we have 28 grams of tungsten in the rear, just like we are running Trixies. Look at that, dude. Just freaking look at the work. Oh my gosh, dude. It's freaking gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Look at that mean stance, dude. Po life. That's what this is. Po life. It's just something on here to make it look something like a truck. You know, it would be like a power wagon was the original idea, and then the cab got kind of square because it was so low, and so you kind of lost the effect of the power wagon. But if you see the hood, you should be able to kind of see it, and then the overall shape of the you know, down the taper down. It was trying to go for a power wagon look. We look a little bit more like Chester Cheetah. You know, we've done that before. If you look and you see with the without the hood, it's a freaking Viper. What the Viper wanted to be, the Viper wished that it was, dude. So the cantilever rear end definitely tempers our flex. It doesn't even, I mean, it has no banding right now, and it's hella firm. Super firm, keeps us picked right there. But then look at the flex. Look how easy the shocks move. It's just crazy, bro. I love this thing, dude. It's so stoked on how it functions. Yeah, dude, heck yeah, bro. So again, on the tires, we came out to almost 68mm on the tires. We are running the DJ Crawler white foams, the 2-stage foam, for sale on Amazon for about $9. Hit me up if you need help on that. So there we go on this guy. Let's put him on the range and see what he can do. All right, here we go. My favorite freaking part, the range. Let's go. A little apologetics on the front side. We are running a very big rig on a fairly big tire, and we are only running plus 2mm. I definitely think that the rig could do it. I definitely think that the width is fine. However, if I was going to go this wide, the reason I would go this wide would be to run gates, and I would definitely swap the rear wheels. So right now, what I'm running in the rear is called a Rat dome prefill. So it is the Rattler wheel with a domed prefill. And so on the insert, and on that insert, it's just causing the extra bit of crown. It gives me an amazing feel. It's the way I typically would run the fronts, but typically I would run that with a flat rear with a little bit more squish that would allow the tire to slip out. If you notice in this video, a lot of times you'll hear me talking in the background about how grippy the rear end is. And so also with the crown, you are narrowing the feel, the stance of the rig. If you're running a square edge tire that was all the way out to the edge, that would mean that your leverage point would be to the edge, basically. And so now if you think that I'm maybe pulled in maybe 6 millimeters on each side to the center, that's obviously a much, much narrower rig and feel. So this being all brand new to me, the cut and shuts and the dome prefills, we were kind of a little bit tippy here on the front side. So I knew that was coming. I did some things kind of slow. I went off camera, which is freaking rad. Great job, dude. Way to film it. So there you go, dude. Overall, I was super duper happy with the rig. It's super over stoked with the wheels and tires. It's just a totally new setup. It's again trying to mimic something, but at the same time it came alive and it became its own thing, and I like them. It's just amazing. However, in certain configurations, we may find it's better to run a flat in the rear with the dome in the front to allow us to have grip and turn and bite in the front, and then support and slip in the rear. And so the reason for that, again, here you see one, is this one coming up right here? Okay, right here. Normally I would want the rear end. As we come around this, you can see my steering. What I'm trying to do is get that rear end to kick down the hill, and it just wouldn't come out of the groove. It just stuck in the groove. So my extra aggressive steering caused me to flip over. So you can see that the drive shaft does wobble a little bit. If it does something that bothers you, then take the time to push it to center. You just see which way and which way is the high side and stop it and push it to center. It will center up. At some point you'll flip over or bind it up or whatever, and it will come out a little bit. It does wobble. I have not experienced a single problem with the old drive shaft extension. And speaking of which, I have a new little part that is a drive shaft extension for the front that should allow us to run just the deadbolt front drive shaft. So when you're buying a kit, a drive shaft, all that you need to run it on any of the sizes, should be any of the sizes, is the deadbolt drive shaft. Well, no, sorry. The 49 and 52 millimeter fronts will work with the deadbolt only. You don't have to buy 2 drive shafts. So I'm pretty sure that works. I have not fitted it up, but I know that it does on the table work. It's plenty strong, and the rear one's been working. So this is just a tiny little 3 millimeter extension that should keep us, or I think it's 3.5 millimeters. Anyways, see, there's another problem right there. So that's, again, the rear tire sticking on the side where it would have helped. It would have been beneficial if the rear slid down the hill just a little bit. And because the rear tires are just insanely grippy, it just wants to stay stuck. So I did pull a trick. We'll talk about that later, dude, when we get to that. So speaking of, I have 3 more videos after this. One from a video that I shot a couple weeks ago with the rig that was on 24 Yep. I shot that, and the reason why I haven't released it is because I would rather focus on this and sell these. It's much simpler for me. It's much simpler for everybody who's building them. This is really the rig that should have gotten shown off. However, that's where we were. Anyways, that's the way it worked out. So the TRX is absolutely amazing. There's no question. It is my favorite slow crawling rig of all time. However, when it comes down to it, the EVOlite, when set up properly, is going to beat it pretty much every time. On top of that, the EVOlite can be built from 142 millimeters to 192 millimeters. So now having a 50 millimeter range where the TRX is going to build only at 195. That's what it is. It's just a freaking monster. So it's pretty much out of class on everything. Even the new Alpha Pro class that's coming. It's probably even too big for that for the most part. You could run it, but it's not necessarily going to be the best rig for the gates. Again, the TRX is amazing, and it's my favorite slow crawling rig of all time. For flow and zenning out by yourself and things like that, it's just absolute dreams. But when it comes to running the gates, when it comes to clearing the top and wanting to do the most savagest thing you could ever imagine, the EVOlite is where it's at. So that's my opinion, and being the one that created it, I probably know a thing or two about it. You know, it's not to say that TRX sucks or whatever. It's just that, you know, the majority of people are trying to run gates, and so I'm just trying to do as much to provide when I don't have information out for guys. I'm trying to push a rig that's going to be more beneficial to more people. So if you want the other one, we can work it out. It will be backlisted here very soon, but again, that is a monster build where this is not. This you know, as far as the actual build, there's a lot to the TRX. There's a lot of parts on this side, so it's a hard work on my end, you know, and then you know, for me to keep up with it in my head, and you know, I got a lot going on at the moment. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. But again, the EVOlite is the simplest to build, simplest to tune, simplest to drive rig I've ever made. That's why I'm pushing it. You can swap up and down between links at any point. You make it shorter and longer. You know, and why would you do that? You would do that for your terrain. You know, like if you play at this hobby shop, you're going to some other hobby shop, you only have one rig. You can maybe at this hobby shop, they run 6-inch gates, and so you have to have a smaller rig. But then you go over here and you play with these buddies, and then you go play outside. And outside, a little, you know, a little 6-inch gate rig isn't maybe the most fun because it's just, you know, it's just not the right thing for the job. There's some nasty turn up right here. Almost lost. Did I make this one or did I fall? I think I made that one. Great job, dude. Great job. You know, so, but at the same time, putting it on the ground, when you put it on the ground, a bigger rig is a lot more fun. But then a huge rig is not very fun to run 6-inch gates or to just to play on a table. It's just too big. Things are too easy and stuff like that. You run out of room. But a tiny little rig is amazing to play on the table. The 142 is maybe even my favorite rig of all time, just to play with. Just because I haven't gotten just to sit and play on the table, you know, but for little obstacles, the little guy is so responsive. He will do just about anything you could imagine. Yeah, he's my freaking favorite, dude. So, but again, he's too small to go play outside. So we do have the same basic feels, what we're trying to get all the way up to 192 millimeters. So that means like this guy right here would be mid 170s, I think. I didn't measure him, and I haven't measured this build in a while. So, but it's the long rear. The 108 millimeter Canti rear with the 52 millimeter front. So that should be somewhere in the 170s. Is where that build should be. So this would be this would be the contender for the Alpha Pro class, most likely. You could go to the 63 front with bigger tires. We got to see what's going to be in the class, right? We just got to make sure that we're driving. See, a little bit of width, dude. A little bit of width. Just going +2 is going to help us, and we could even go +4 and go all the way to the 6 millimeter hubs, and that's going to give us a big elbow. So, speaking of elbow, why would you want less elbow, more elbow? So, what I mean by elbow is their steering throw. How much throw is in the steering? The farther you push the wheel out on the same axle, the more steering throw that you're going to have, wheel scrub. So, what does that mean? It means that your front end, both tires, will kind of like reach in a direction. You know, they don't just pivot in place. So, the farther you extend the tire, the wheel, from the pivot point, the more elbow that you will have. So when you're running gates, it is beneficial to have as little elbow as possible. Why? Because when you get up to the gate with a big elbow, elbow covers a lot of room, and you might think that you have a ton of space to the gate, and then all of a sudden you turn and you hit the gate, and you're like, what? How did I hit the gate? And it's because you were turned one way and then you turned the other way, and the tire covers a lot of distance in that throw. So it's a good idea to run as little elbow as possible. Also, it's a totally different driving experience when you have no elbows. When the tires just pivot, you drive the rig differently. For me, I love to have a moderate to large elbow, so it's no big deal. However, if you are not used to it, it can present some problems because why? For the same reason as we talked about with gates, having the big throw changes the direction that the front end points. And so there's times like on a downturn and these other things, if you turn, into the hill, well, if you are turning into the fall, well, you shorten your downside, which is which is not a good idea. So you have to learn how to come down in that situation, and learn how to use the tricks. However, when you learn how to use the tricks, you can do not just things that were the things that gave you a problem, but now you can now open up things that you just could not do without having the elbow. You can flow, you can gain traction, you can pivot your rig, you can do all kind of cool things when you have elbow. And also now when you want to do like tricks, when you want to hang from the ledge and do these type of things and do just nasty cool tricks, again, having elbow and wider rig is going to be more fun. It's going to allow you to do more things. But the bigger your elbow is and the heavier your rig are, means the bigger bigger impacts, but it's going more work for your servo. So having a big servo, I pretty much only run a servo beast at this point. That's all I'm installing on rigs, and that's all that I recommend. But the Black Label 2.0 or any of the other servos, big servos on the market would do great. However, there's just no reason to not spend the money and get a servo beast. They're only $65. It comes with another mount that you could run for another rig or whatever. There you go. It comes with a servo horn that you could run for another rig. It doesn't work for ours because we want more steering throw, and the little servo horns just do not have enough. Plus, I do not like aluminum servo horns for multiple reasons. They waller out, meaning that they're going to have slop over time. They also break screws. So I run the plastic from the servo kits. They just come with the servo kits. I actually run the one that looks like a cross. I cut all the other pieces off because it's bulked up. And then, so what does that do? It helps to protect my servo. It's like a servo saver, just so that at the end points or anything that you're pushing into firmly, that the servo or the horn begins to bend and give way, instead of trying to transfer all the energy directly back into the servo and beginning to cause heat and could cause a lesser servo to begin to burn up very quickly. So right there, it helps your servo. Also, again, it helps your screws. Having that little bit of bend on from the pressure of the servo and also impacts is going to help preserve your screw. These tiny little M1.4 screws, especially when you get the stainless versions, they will not hold up to a aluminum or quality servo horn. So I run the plastic servo horns, and you come with a few of them. So anyways, there you go. That's the correct line. Oh, again, on the cross, the correct length would be at the end. Some of the other servo horns, the white servo horns, they come at different lengths, and you'll have to use different holes. So it should basically be with your upper steering link straight across, straight across. That's where it's supposed to be. All right, so I haven't hardly been watching the video and paying attention, but that trick across the front there, I have never done that before. You always fall off. You always fall over, or the energy transfers, and it just causes you to go back the other way if it doesn't flip you over. So I thought that was freaking rad. Great job, dude. Great job, Brian, dude. Freaking killing it, my guy. All right, so that's going to bring us to the end of the 2mm hubs. Let's go forward, dude. All right, so I went ahead and swapped to the 4mm hubs. I thought that it was doing great, but these rear tires are just like super duper sticky, and they're holding on. As you can see, like, I thought they were awesome. It's just more grip than I was used to, and being so high with a tire that was maybe a little bit taller than I intended, going to the 4 is really going to help us out. I think the +2 would be great for running the gates. I've probably already said this. But running with the +4s is going to make us more stable. It just gives us just that much more elbow, and it's something to be aware of when you do your turn downs and things like that. At the same time, having an elbow is extremely helpful if you learn how to use it. So there you go. Let's go ahead and try them out just real quick on the range. We won't do a full pack, but let's go ahead and get out there and see how we do in the +4 edition. All right, dude, freaking +4 hubs, my guy. Look at him, dude. See, I love it, dude. He's tippy, he's stiff. He will loosen up a little bit as we go, but he's going to remain, stable and stiff. That's what the cantilever rear end does. Just freaking awesome. You can float tires. It's so fun. And then when you get it in a bind, it still has plenty of flex. You can still do nasty, nasty things, dude. So already you can see right there, our stability is much better coming off. That's my tester right there. It's the longer the rigs get, it actually becomes harder and harder because still dropped it in the hole. Dadgummit, dude. My bad. Let's go, buddy. Freaking keep it on the wheels, dude. Keep it on the wheels. Sure glad we have the freaking flip-proof lid, dog. Loving the flip-proof lid. Oh my gosh, can I talk? I am loving the flip-proof lid. Also, if you guys saw,
Dude,
I posted on Facebook, we did a brake test.
So freaking
By the way, if you're not,
become
become a member of the group on Facebook. I would appreciate it. I try to keep a little bit of something in there, a little bit of whatever. I definitely post all the clips from Instagram. If you're not, dude, you should be on Instagram. I will do better at posting videos, dude. I had so much backed up to, just get caught up on, and I'm getting there, dude. I'm a few days behind on orders, so I do apologize on that. But we had 3 RTRs go out last week, and that's what happened, dude. So those videos are already shot. They will be coming quickly. I may go ahead and try to knock out at least one more of those today. All right, here we go. Testing across here. We're going to push up. You can see the rear is still just holding on. You can see the top tire lifting, and it just causes that rear tire to just bite in, and it does not let go. So again, we may have to go to flats, at the same time. As these tires age and progress, they're probably going to begin to slip more. So it's just going to be one of those things that we have to play with because it's a new setup. The same thing would be happening on the XHX pins on the next size up. I will show you that. We have rigs. I will talk about all that stuff later. But yeah, so I will get those things worked out. I messaged Brian. I told him, hey, drive it, check it out. If these are things that we need to take care of, the inserts and hubs and whatever that to make it drive the way he wants. I told him just to hit the replacements, man. I'll get him those parts for him to set it up like he wants it. So there you go, dude. I thought it was absolutely freaking killer, bro.
What we can do here.
+4 has definitely brought it alive. I don't mind the elbow, but again, somebody that's not used to it might begin to notice and have a few issues. So definitely something to get used to and whatever. But it opens up tricks that just, you couldn't do without it. You know what I'm saying? Opens up driving styles that if you take the time to learn that, dang it. My bad. Dude, again, it's that rear tire being so grippy and wanting just to constantly bite. It just holds it up, and then also when it started to come down, that it just gripped and wants to roll. So
look at that turn up.
Things to get used to, and maybe we will adjust them.
Absolutely.
Anyways, but just a freaking dope setup. I absolutely love the V pins. I will try to. I don't know. I've thought about trying to make them on the bigger size, but the XHX are so good on the same setup. So it's like, why waste to cut and shut on when these other ones just you just cut the pins off and they work phenomenal. So we'll see. I may probably try to do that anyways, just to see and compare them. But so far the V pins they run great stock on the 40 millimeter insert for the what are they, scale face rattlers, and then these are, like you see, are running on the 48 millimeter insert for the rattlers, and then I have a 52 millimeter flat and a 56 millimeter. Anyways, these are all things that I really got to hammer out that have been made. I just haven't run them enough, and I'm back and forth and whatever to remember all the details. So we will talk about those things as they are on the screen and as you see them. So, but there you go, dude. I know I'm saying that. I don't really have a lot to say, and this is a long freaking video, and we are showing off a lot of really cool stuff. So checking out right here, what I'm trying to show off is not only the side hill and transition, but also the belly clearance across that, freaking hump. Typically, most of the time, we would have hit on previous versions of the Slayer. No way you could make across those, transitions like that. You would have just slid and then caught the tire, and you'd have flipped off the side. That's just the way it happens. So, but when you have an amazing clearance, you can do things that you never did before. At the same time, if you saw I did the pivot at the top earlier in the video, it does not have a pivot point. It does not have a catch where we would normally catch it. So when you're trying to do your pivots and things, you might have to learn new techniques to make the rig pivot. But that's another thing with the elbows and steering, open up, plenty of ways to make it turn and make it flip back over. That's the one thing about having a big elbow, bigger your elbow is, it definitely helps you to flip over on those side flips and things like that when you have no body to help you stay stable. Because running with like a Gladiator, it's on its side, you pretty much always, I remember I could always self-right when they stay like on their side, but when you don't have a body and things like that, they don't land on their side, they flip to roof. So anyways, there you go. There you have it, my guy. So man, I hope you guys are doing good. It's kind of a longer video. Anybody that's still here, I sure do freaking appreciate you. I hope that you're having a great weekend, man. Getting out on the rocks with some buddies. So this may not be a really tall ledge, but typically on a rig this long, that would be a total belly out, right? So actually a really hard obstacle. Those obstacles that would normally hit you right behind the skid. Not quite enough to get your front end over and get a bite, and still too much pressure on the rear end to get it to let it, for it to let go, and so it wants to walk up underneath you. So that's where the super duper high clearance links come in handy, and allow you just to reach up and over those things. So there you go, dude. There you go. Nice little V-notcher, dude. Can we handle it? Nope, I effed it up. What the heck,
Bad driving.
bro? Terrible driving skills. However, I'll take the correction, dude. So if you wanted to know how to get out of a crack, that's how you do it. And then you hope it doesn't break when you do that.
Good driving.
But it didn't. It worked. It worked. We made it out, dude. Heck yeah. So speaking of braking, I have not broken a single Mias axle. Super duper freaking pumped with them. Absolutely love the Mias axles. I would like a bigger axle. I would like an axle that came with less wheel scrub, because that would mean that I could run it wider. However, for what it is, up to 6mm hubs, dude, it's pretty freaking good. And for the $90 that it is, it's freaking awesome. As far as today goes, when this video was made, I do not have the nylon axles, but homie Danny, who also got an RTR, he said he sent me some for Christmas.
I'm trying
So
to do
Merry
the
Christmas,
nastiest things
you know what I'm
ever
saying?
imagine.
So
It's
anyways,
so
we will have the
incredible.
nylon parts available coming soon. So for me, and what I'm doing, if I'm building an RTR, I will not be building them on plastic housings. Even if it was better, bro, even if it was better on the rocks, we're not going to do it for multiple reasons. Number one reason, you're paying a lot of money and you got to have some bling on it. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be shiny. Number two reason is the knuckles on the nylon housings are going to rip right off the eyelets. They're going to rip them right off because we put all of our weight in the wheels. That's what we do. And by the way, the EVOlite is going to run best at 550 grams or more.
Come on.
You might say, but I thought it was an EVOlite.
Come on,
Yes, the
buddy.
chassis
Look at his
itself and everything
tires,
is
bro.
light. However,
freaking
when you
savage.
put it to the sky,
Let's go.
you're going to
Step
have
around
some
it.
weight to keep it
Step
planted.
around it.
And then you see it pull up and do
First
stuff like
time
that.
ever,
And you're like,
dude.
well,
These
maybe we don't
tires
have
are
to be light.
savage
Maybe
as
heavy is the
freaking
answer.
heck. Oh
So
my God.
let me see you do that
First time
pull up right
ever,
there,
Brian.
dude. Freaking
This
savage.
is
I ain't never
so
done that pull up before. That was the first time ever I've seen
I'm
a
glad I
rig go
swapped to
up
those
right
fours,
there.
dude. I think it's so much
Pretty
better.
freaking savage,
It's
dude.
exactly
I
what it
absolutely
needed.
love it. So weight balance, I don't know. I didn't weigh this one. I would guess it's probably going to be in the 550 range, and it's going to be around 64% to the front, maybe 65. Running Trixie weight, we got 6 ounces of tungsten in the rattlers. We'll make it rain. That's what I'm calling it. The BBs are rats, and the tungsten is rains, at least in the checkout is the way I did that. Sorry if it's confusing. I will be getting to wheels today. Oh my gosh, dude, I've been putting it off because I just couldn't deal with it. I just haven't had time to put into the wheel listing, so I just even took it down. And so we will get that pushed back up so you guys can pick up the most bestest wheels in the business. Why? Because they were specifically made for the EVOlite, and to be able to make it do that right there. If you don't know, now you know. Talk to Rob. He will tell you why that was dope right there. Rob will tell you why that was dope. I love you, Rob. Thanks for being here. By the way, shout out to the homies, freaking Team Texoma. We got Rob and Danny up in Michigan running the tables weekly, bro. Out in Detroit, all over the area, dude. All over freaking Grand Rapids area, dude. Freaking killing it, dude. Oh my gosh. Thanks to the homies for repping Team Texoma. I do appreciate the guys. So if you want to be a team driver, you're going to have to talk to your boy, Josh. Hit me up, dude, and we will work out the details. What does it mean to be a team driver? Well, it just basically means to go out and kick butt and represent and challenge the homies. And hopefully we're loving on people too. So hopefully we're inspiring people to, to push themselves and to try new things and to go home and practice, So there you go, dude. Freaking rip till you flip.